So this year, guys, I actually sat down and I was in the mood for a quick narrative heavy game. So I decided to pick up A Plague Tale: Innocence and give it a go. It was obviously, it's got its fan base. A lot of people do love this game. And I did play it back for a few hours when it first came out in 2019. But this time I picked it up on my PS5. And I've got to say, I really enjoyed it. You know, it's not a AAA game or anything like that. But I think playing it now, especially with all the shiny next-gen upgrades, it's definitely worth talking about. And I think you guys might be interested to hear some thoughts from someone who's just been a fan of these kind of story-driven games for years at this stage. I've got quite a fondness for story-heavy games, whether it's point and click or even the Telltale games. So anyway, like I was saying, I first played it, Plague Tale, when it came out on release. I think I got it back on my PS4 back then, and I remember enjoying it, but I fell off it for one thing or another. But this time, firing it up on the PS5, it's just like a whole new experience. You know, it's a good looking game. I mean, this game came out in, 2019. It's not even a proper next gen title, but on the PS5 with all the enhancements, it is absolutely stunning. You know, the lighting, the shadows, the frame rate's perfect. It's a lock 60, and those rats, those little shits. There's literally thousands of them scurrying about in the game world, looking all nasty, I guess, and realistic. And I was just sitting there thinking, how the hell did they do this on last gen hardware? But on the PS5 now, I will say this, it's smooth, it's sharp, it's just gorgeous, yeah. I played it on the 4K TV, my OLED, and honestly, I would say it looks phenomenal, especially the kind of medieval setting and villages and the kind of dark forests. It's not, it's not Horizon, or it's not God of War level, but for what it is, it's absolutely cracking. And I think even for today, it's still a looker. It's still top quality. Now, this game has great music. It's something that really stood out to me, guys. I'm not usually one of those people who's really banging on too much about soundtracks, unless it's a Hollow Knight video or a Final Fantasy video. But this one, it's by some guy called Olivier. I can't even pronounce his last name, de Rivere or something like that. But it's unreal. You've got these kind of creepy, haunting strings, and then kind of a drum or a percussion, I should say, that kind of kicks in when things get tense. Like, you'll be running from, sounds mad, a tidal wave of rats, and I'm just thinking, fucking hell, right, it's a bit tense. But it really kind of drives up the dread, especially when you're sneaking through a dark area and you're just trying not to get caught by these Inquisition guards. It's almost whispering in your ear with just the 3D audio on PS5. It just fits the vibe perfectly, and I found myself really appreciating how it does kind of make you feel for Amicia and Hugo, these two kids stuck in this fucking shocking world. Honestly, it's the kind of music that sticks with you. It's very reminiscent, I would say, of The Witcher 3, come to think about it. Not quite as good in my opinion, but it is up there. So the one thing I bang on in this channel, and the biggest problem that modern day gaming has, is pacing and length. And this is something where you'll know, if you listen to my other videos, you'll know something about me is I really enjoy a good tight game. This game isn't one of those massive sprawling things that will take forever to finish. It's not some RPG where you're still not done after 80 hours because you've got a million side quests to do. A Plague Tale is a tight game. You must be talking 9 to 12 hours, depending on how much you faff about. And I think that's perfect. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It doesn't pad itself out with nonsense. Just gets in, tells a story, and just gets out. Yeah, you can have a short game and still have a very bad paced game. That's not the problem here. The pacing's spot on too. I think it's got a great mix of tense moments and then the quiet moments. 1 minute you're kind of sneaking through a village trying not to get spotted, the next you're running for your life from rats. And there's these wee bits where Amicia and Hugo are just chatting and you're like, oh bless, you're just trying not to get mauled to death by fucking rats. It's a nice change, especially compared to some other games where I'm like, fuck me, when's this going to end? This one I was like, no, I'm happy enough. If it wants to keep going, it can. But also when it did end, I felt satisfied. Now, this type of game, it relies very heavily on puzzles. I don't mind puzzles. I am a fan of them in games, to be honest. Bit of a change of pace from just running around shooting stuff a lot of the time. But, having to think a bit, A Plague Tale does this very well. You've got a slingshot, right? And obviously that slingshot, you're using it to light fires, breaking chains, you use it to distract guards, all that sort of thing. And then you've got this alchemy system. This system is basically you can put stuff together. So you can obviously put out things like fires, you can make rats go mental. And I was just thinking, okay, this is adding a wee bit of depth. You're sitting there for 10 minutes scratching your head as well, but they're not brain dead easy. They're just right. if that makes sense. And they fit into the game so well. It's not like, oh, here's a random puzzle for no reason. It is all part of the story, part of the world, and I was feeling satisfied with them. I was like, yeah, okay, I solved that. I know I'm a genius. But honestly, I'd say the puzzle aspects were one of my favourite parts, and I think if you're into that sort of thing, you probably love it too. Now, look, the game isn't perfect, okay? I mean, sometimes the stealth bits can be a bit janky, like you're sneaking past the guard and he spots you through a wall or something like that. But it's not a big deal. It's not like it ruins the game or anything. It's just a little hiccup. And honestly, I enjoyed it so much I didn't really care. The story was great. The characters, the rats, the puzzle, the music, the graphics. It's all just proper good, guys. Proper good. I mean, I know some people might want more action or something, but for me, this is exactly the kind of game I love. Something that's got heart, it's got atmosphere, and something big plus here. Something that doesn't fucking waste your time. So yeah, like this is a very quick video. That's just my thoughts on A Plague Tale Innocence. I played it on the PS5, like I mentioned. The Pro version, mind you, not the regular one, but it's not enhanced or anything, and it was great. It's fine. Now, obviously there's different modes, but I think I just played on performance. It was smooth, looked great, no issues. If you haven't played it, or if you're thinking of revisiting it, I'd say do it, guys. Just pick it up. Probably pick it up cheap nowadays and just do it. And it's not a big game or anything. It's not trying to be. It's just a cracking little story with rats and puzzles and all that good stuff. I loved it. So yeah, I'd probably give it, I don't know, a solid 3.5 out of 5. Maybe even a 4 at a real push. It just hits the right notes for me. I will get around to playing the sequel. I think that's one though that I will play on the PC. I know it does continue the story, but does come in a bit longer, but from what I know, you know, I've heard some positive things. So what do you guys think? Have any of you picked up A Plague Tale recently, or any of you thinking about picking it up? Is there anything you disagree with me on, or anything you loved as much as I did? Also, if you think it is worth definitely playing the sequel, or you think avoiding it, let me know in the comments below. And if you like the ramble, give it a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.
A fly! Your own sister! Oh, such a slur requires punishment.